Today I've got a special guest in, which is James Aspey. Hi there.
Hi, thanks for having me on, buddy.
No problem, mate. How you doing?
Feeling real good, real good. A little jet lagged, but apart from that, I'm great.
Yeah, good. So what brings you to Scotland?
I'm in Scotland at the moment to advocate for veganism through speeches and some other actions we've got happening around the city. And today, I did a speech at this university and just got a whole bunch more of that happening. So I'm here just to spread a message of respect to all earthlings.
Cool. So what was it that changed your outlook on all life, like to the point that you're at the moment?
Well, I always believed that we needed to eat animal products to survive and be healthy. And when I learned that we can actually be healthier without consuming animal products, I tried to figure out, well, why are we mutilating and torturing and slaughtering so many animals if we don't have to for our health? And when I couldn't find a good reason for it, I just felt like it wasn't something I wanted to continue contributing to, because I don't see myself as a cruel person, and they are actions that cause a lot of cruelty. So I decided it just wasn't the life for me anymore, and I chose to be vegan so that I could live more in alignment with the person I always strive to be, which is a person who's compassionate, respectful, kind, and I feel a lot better now.
Yeah. So how did that lead into you using your voice as a conduit for them, where most people go for veganism and then they keep that to themselves as such, and they go with their own life as they go along? But you've taken that to the next level, and you're pushing that message out, as you said, across the world.
I just feel like it's such an important message, and the animals who are suffering and being exploited for our products and our foods, they can't get out of this mess themselves. So I felt a massive responsibility as someone who knows what's happening and sees the injustice in it, to try to educate other people about what's happening and inspire them to make changes too. So I use my voice because I just feel a huge responsibility to stand up for those that can't do it themselves.
Yeah, I totally respect that. It's
Thanks,
good
man.
when people use that vehicle to be able to spread a message that's as strong and as powerful as that. It's always a good sign.
Absolutely. And we all can do it, man. We've all got a voice to use, and while there's so many innocent beings who are going through such troubling times, I feel like those of us who have it good, who have everything we need, who don't have any real serious struggles in our life, we should use our privilege to help those less fortunate.
Yeah. A wee bit more on a personal level is, and some people might not have heard in your speech, but you talk about having overcome cancer, and at that point you'd put on a lot of weight. And so when you switched over, how did your body image, how do you see that now? Has it evolved? Are you happy in yourself now?
Yeah, I put on about 25 kilos when I had cancer, and I lost all my fitness. My health was out the window. I was on death's door basically for a long time. So it was really important for me to get my health back, to get strong, to get fit again, and lose all that weight. And I did. And nowadays, I did that while I was still eating animal products. These days, I eat foods now that I would have always avoided when I was trying to lose weight and things like that. I eat so much rice now. I eat so many potatoes, so much fruit. And these are all foods I would have avoided before, and I'm eating foods that are really fueling my body. I've never found it so easy to stay lean. I've never had more energy to do exercise, and I've never felt so happy within myself, within my body, partly because I'm happy with how it looks aesthetically, but also because it just feels good, man. It feels good to just be thriving off plants, it's to still be eating amazing foods. I'm still eating burgers and burritos and pizzas and ice cream, but it's just all the versions of it that are vegan, that doesn't have animal products in it. So I love that I can eat amazing food, look and feel really good, and it's at no one else's expense. It's just a whole lot of plants, man.
That's a lot of carbs and sugar.
It's a lot of carbs. It's a lot of carbs, but it's I don't put oil on my potatoes. And that's where the real calories are, in the fat. There's so many calories in oil that people don't really think about. So I used to be afraid of carbs, man. But, I look at fruitarians, for example, who are all ripped. They're so lean. And I used to have 0 to 1 pieces of fruit a day when I was trying to lose weight. And I struggled to lose weight. Now I eat an abundance of fruit every single day. And I've never felt it so easy to stay lean. So I think what really makes it hard for people to lose weight is they eat foods, most people are eating so much meat and dairy and eggs, and that's full of saturated fat, it's full of cholesterol, full of hormones, full of the antibiotics that the animals are fed, and they're the things that really make it hard for us to lose weight and to keep it off. So when you're eating plants, it just makes it so much easier, man.
Yeah, you're a personal trainer by profession, yeah. And it's so many personal trainers always say to you, like, it's animal protein,
Totally.
stay away from the carbs, stay away from the sugar.
Yeah, that was
and
me.
It's like, and now you're this personal trainer and you're doing the exact opposite. I think it's brilliant. It just kind of shows that a lot of people, they might know how to get your fitness, but they're not maybe so clued up on the nutritional aspects of it.
Well, if they're recommending people to consume animal products, then I would say they definitely have more research to do. For example, the president of the American Cardiology College, he said there are two types of cardiologists. There are vegans and there are ones who haven't read the data. And that's how I feel. If there's some personal trainers out there who are recommending that their clients consume animal products, animal protein is a carcinogen. Cholesterol is, obviously a leading cause of why people get heart disease, which is the biggest killer. There's no cholesterol in plant foods. And there's just so many reasons for health not to consume animal products, and there are absolutely no reasons for health why we shouldn't be vegan. In fact, there's less deficiencies on average in a vegan diet. The food has less concentrated doses of toxins and pesticides and things like that as well. So I would say that, there are a lot of misinformed personal trainers out there. I was one of them for a long time. And I know there's still a lot of them out there, but the good news is there's so many studies now showing the superiority of a plant-based diet over a diet based on animal products. And plant-based diet is also the only diet ever shown to be able to prevent and reverse heart disease. So there's every reason to do it, man. And I just feel like when people learn all these facts and start feeling the benefits for themselves, there's just nothing better, and it's so unnecessary and easily avoidable to when you don't want to consume animal products. It's just so easy not to.
Like, were you still practicing your profession as a personal trainer when you made the switch over to veganism? Yeah,
I was. I was a personal trainer at the time. I was working on a cruise ship, traveling around the world, giving lectures on health and teaching a lot of classes. And I went vegetarian in that time, felt really good, which was really surprising. And then soon later, when I learned that there is at least as much cruelty in dairy and eggs as there is in meat, I decided I didn't want to just be vegetarian. I wanted to be vegan. And when I went vegan, one thing I thought was that I wasn't going to have anything good to eat, and then I actually opened up a whole world of food and different types of food that I had never really tried or experienced before, and I ended up, now I love food more than I ever have in my life. I'm trying so many good new recipes and also the vegan versions of all my old favorites. And my health, man, like, I don't feel like I need to sleep as much anymore. I feel happier in general. It's easier to stay lean. I'm stronger in the gym. I get muscles back fast if I haven't trained for a while. I recover fast. It's so clearly so much better for your body. And so it's been a really interesting thing for my clients, who I always used to say, eat a lot of meat and, eat your eggs and this and that. But it's great for them because they're also noticing so many benefits as well, and losing weight so much easier and enjoying the food and feeling satisfied rather than feeling like they have to restrict their calories. They have to, go easy on the carbs and this and that. I don't promote that anymore. I promote a diet of abundance. You can have an abundance of these plant foods and feel really, really good. And it's just one of those rare situations where it's win-win-win,
Was it, touching on that, was there a bit of a pushback from your clients when you did switch and you all of a sudden were like, oh wait, everything that I've been telling you, I don't believe in it anymore, I want you to follow this, or I think this is best for you and your diet or your exercise plan? There
was a few clients who, and I can understand why. I'd been a personal trainer for 8 years before I came across any of this information. I was just closed off to the idea. I never thought I was going to stop eating meat. I was the biggest meat eater you've ever met. So was not in my reality to stop. So I didn't bother studying any of the reasons why I should.
Yeah.
And when I stopped and started recommending my clients to do the same, some, trusted me and they just went with it, and thankfully they got all the benefits. And I felt really sad for the ones who didn't follow my lead on that one, and they just kept doing what they were doing, or we just stopped talking about nutrition because they weren't open to the conversation anymore. I felt really sorry for those people because they were usually the ones that really needed it most, ones that were on high blood pressure medications or had different illnesses, that they were probably going to get, that they could have avoided and prevented. So it's a shame, but that's the thing with conditioning. You've been told so many times that you need dairy for calcium. You've been told so many times that you need meat for protein that you start to believe it. And even when new facts emerge, you hold on to the old things anyway because that's just what you know. And stepping out of your comfort zone sometimes seems a little bit hard, but the truth is it's actually harder not to change, because when you don't change, then, in this particular situation, this new way of living came that was going to be such a positive thing, and those who didn't change missed out on that.
Yeah, so, it's harder down the line in the long term.
That's right, yeah. Change can seem hard, but generally when you do it, in this, for example, with this, all you're really doing is substituting cow's milk for almond milk or rice milk or soy, coconut, hazelnut milk. Just substituting mince for black beans. You're substituting eggs on your toast for avocado or peanut butter on your toast. It's really not hard at all.
Yeah.
You're going to the same supermarket, you're eating the same amount of meals, you're still enjoying your food. It's no harder to prepare. It's usually cheaper. So it just seems hard, but when you do it, you realize, this is actually easy and so worth it.
Yeah, like you're saying, with the conditioning, it starts from a very young age. Like, you're always told about the food groups and, your dairy and the food pyramid, and it's always like, you've got your meat and your dairy near the top, and then your fruits and veg and down the bottom. And you're always told that that's the way it's meant to be. For instance, when I changed, like, a few years back, a lot of the pushback, a lot of the negative reactions I got was from my immediate family, who couldn't understand why, having went 28 years of my life that way. Did you have that same sort of thing, like with your family, like the closer ones?
Initially I did, but then when I started educating them as well and showing them some documentaries and some things I was learning, they actually got on board straight away. So I showed my mum and dad a documentary called Earthlings, which shows all the ways humans exploit animals for food, for clothing, entertainment, and medical testing. And they were actually horrified, as I was. And then when I started teaching them what they can eat, some new recipes, there's literally millions of vegan recipes on Google. You just Google vegan breakfast recipes, there's millions. And when I started showing them all the new foods they could eat, and that they could still eat their old favorites, like my dad loves shepherd's pie. We just switched the mince for the lentils. My dad loves spaghetti bolognese. We switched the mince for the lentils. He didn't even notice a difference. It's still a delicious meal. And so when they realized this, and then my mum lost about 25 kilos, my dad lost about 18 kilos. So they were so happy and they felt really good. My brother soon later went vegan as well, and he's an athlete now. He does marathons and ultra marathons as well. He never did that before. So, we're all seeing some really amazing benefits just from some very simple diet changes.
Yeah. There's like living proof that when you change, you can make yourself better.
Yeah,
personally,
so
as well
worthwhile.
as,
like, for this tiny investment of, spending that little bit of time, you could learn everything you need to know about what to eat in a couple of hours. For that small investment to literally putting more years on your life and improving the value of all the years leading up to the end of your life. What an incredible investment that is. Just that little bit of time to have so many benefits for the rest of your life.
So what would you say is the hardest thing about being a vegan in this modern world?
For me, and for most vegans, I think the hardest part is that when you go vegan, you start seeing things differently. So before, I would have walked past a butcher, for example, and thought nothing of it. Now I walk past and I see a lot of dead bodies, and I think about, the animals, what they go through before they end up in a neatly wrapped package on the supermarket shelf. And it is a horror show, man. I walk past someone, just mindlessly scoffing down a chicken or drinking cow's milk, knowing they have absolutely no idea of the horrific cruelty in the dairy industry. And that's the hardest part, you know, walking around and seeing the products of violence and cruelty everywhere, and then seeing people you love consume those products, put the products of violence into their bodies, and knowing how much damage it's doing them as well. So I think the hardest part of being vegan definitely isn't getting enough protein or knowing what to eat. That's easy. The hardest part is your change in perception of what's deemed as normal in this world. And it takes a little bit of adjusting for some people, to be honest. But then there's also the positive of that, is that you see a better world is possible. And it's a really encouraging feeling to know that you're making a positive difference. And, you know, just by living vegan, you're also inspiring a lot of other people and showing, you know, leading the way for a lot of other people to show that they can do the same.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, do you think that veganism can reach a tipping point at some point in the future?
Oh man, I'm so optimistic. I mean, we've got everything in our favour. We've got the ethics in our favour. Everyone, 99% of people are against animal cruelty. 99% of people. That's a huge amount of people who agree with the same thing. That's rare.
Yeah.
You know, we can all agree that animal cruelty is wrong, so all that's left is for us to all live in alignment with that. And a lot of us already are. There's millions of vegans around the world, and that number's growing every day. We've got all the environmental benefits and the facts that animal agriculture is truly destroying this planet. If we want a sustainable future, we have to drop animal products from our diet. And then we've obviously got all the health benefits as well. So it's only logical, in my opinion, that this will continue taking off as it is. And I'm looking forward to the day when, you know, I don't have to look around for the vegan options, because they're all vegan options. And I don't see that as a far-fetched idea at all. We already have vegan meat, vegan cheese, vegan ice cream, vegan everything. It makes no sense to me to keep these products of violence and cruelty and ill health and environmental destruction right next to the products of kindness and justice and respect to the planet. Why would we keep those old products, you know, when we have alternatives that are so much better in every way? Makes no sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got a wee, it's almost like a word association that I kind of came up with. I've got like 4 words here for you. Things that I've found that non-vegans bring up. So I'm going to say a word to you, and then I want to hear just your initial thoughts on that word, okay?
Cool.
So the first one's protein.
Just my initial thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, that's the first question everyone's got, so I should have saw that coming. Protein is found abundantly in plant foods. We don't need anywhere near as much protein as a lot of us think we do. In fact, the world record holding strongman is a vegan. Mr. Universe is also a vegan. World champion arm wrestler is a vegan. Elephants, rhinos, gorillas, hippos all eat a plant-based diet. They're not struggling to get enough protein, I don't think. Actually, the only people in the world who are struggling to get enough protein are people who are suffering from starvation or malnutrition. If you're eating enough calories for your body, then by default, no matter what food you're eating, you're getting enough protein. So it's really a non-issue. And that's the same with every other nutrient. All nutrients we need are found in a plant-based diet. The only one thing that vegans need to supplement is B12, and that can be as easy as 1 spray under the tongue once a day, just before you brush your teeth.
Yeah.
The reason why is because the way we sanitize our food now, the natural B12 found in soil and things like that is killed because the way we sanitize it. Otherwise, we would easily be able to get it. And vegans are not the only ones that need to supplement B12. Everybody should be supplementing B12 because a lot of people are deficient in it, and that's whether you eat animal products or not.
Yeah, that's what I think you find that in the ingredients list in a lot of like cereals that non-vegans eat. So they are still getting supplemented, they're just maybe not aware of it.
Yeah, well, that's true, and there's a lot of B12 supplementation happening in a lot of vegan products now too. The vegan meats, soy milk, things like that as well.
Yeah. So the next word is ancestors.
A lot of people think that just because our ancestor did something, it's a good idea for us to do it too. You know, tradition is not a good enough reason for us to continue doing something barbaric. War has been happening a long time as well. Child abuse has been happening a long time as well. Doesn't mean it's a good thing. Doesn't mean we should continue it just because it's traditional or because our ancestors did something. And there's an argument that we killed and ate animals because we had to. Well, fair enough. If you've got to kill to survive, that's one thing. But when we have an opportunity today to live and thrive without hurting anyone else, then surely that should just be the default option. It shouldn't even be a choice that we can readily consume animal products for, that is legal, because if it was a dog we were talking about, the animal cruelty would be a crime. So it really makes no sense to choose specific animals that it's okay to be cruel to and kill over other ones like dogs and cats and dolphins and things like that. So just because our ancestors had to do something to survive, there's no argument here that says we have to do it. And if there was, I wouldn't be here promoting veganism if we had to kill and eat animals. I would obviously that wouldn't be logical for me, but we have this other option. So what are we doing, man?
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
The human condition is always to improve upon what we've done before. It makes no sense to continue to...
Let's evolve, man.
Yeah.
We may have evolved eating animal products, but now to evolve to a point where we're a more compassionate species, a species that can sustain our life on this planet, we have to evolve again and leave it behind.
Yeah. So the second to last word I've got here is lions.
Lions kill for need and humans kill for greed. They have to kill to survive. They don't have supermarkets. They don't have other options. They're carnivores. Humans are omnivores. We have the option. We can either kill to survive, yes, it's an option, or we can live and thrive without killing anybody. We don't need to do something just because lions do it. It's not an excuse. Other animals kill animals, so we can. Other animals do a lot of things that we would never do. Some lions kill and eat their babies. Doesn't make it a good idea for us to do it.
No,
we can
absolutely
make better choices than lions.
Yeah. And the final word I've got is culture.
Culture is not a good enough justification to harm anybody. Neither is religion, neither is tradition. So just because it's in your culture, that doesn't give you the right to make a victim for your meal. And I think the easiest way to realize that is to just put yourself or someone you love in the victim's situation. You wouldn't want to be there. You wouldn't want someone you love to be walked down that slaughterhouse line about to get your throat cut and then chopped up into little pieces. So there's some things that are far more important than culture and tradition in this world, and respecting the life of our fellow earthlings is most definitely one of them.
Cool. I really like those answers.
Thanks,
I might
bro.
need to take the recording and memorise those for when I need them in future.
Sounds good.
So what's your future plans then? Not just while you're here in Scotland, but have you got any big grand plans coming up? I know you've done your silence, and then you've done your tattoos for the 24 hours as well. So have you got anything else big coming up?
Yeah, I do. Well, for the rest of this year, I'll be giving speeches all around the world. That'll be one of my main things. I just really love giving speeches, and they're a really effective way to spread the message. So that's a massive thing for me this year. But next year, I'll be looking at donating one of my kidneys to somebody, just anybody who needs one, a stranger.
Oh, wow.
And in the hope that, I'll document my journey doing that and the other person's journey, and I want to show how good it is to help somebody out of their suffering. And I hope that that action will help this person, obviously, but will also inspire a lot of other people to do more to help others out of their suffering. And I also want people to realize that you don't have to donate one of your organs to get that feeling, that good feeling of helping someone. You can simply just change what you eat a few times a day, and actually there's nothing bigger that you could do in your life, because nothing else that you are doing, that the general person is doing, causes anywhere near as much suffering as what we choose to eat. So that's what I'll be doing after that, and then who knows, I might have a little rest. I've been pretty busy.
I think you deserve it if you gave up a kidney, to be fair.
Thanks, man. I probably won't rest though, to be honest.
No, you're just all go, aren't you?
A little bit.
So, just finally, where can people get your content? Where can they keep up to date on what you're up to?
I make YouTube videos. I post every single day on Facebook and Instagram, and those pages are just under my name, James Aspey, Aspey.
Cool. Well, thanks very much for coming in to speak to me today. It's been a great talk.
Thanks, brother. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks
I
very
hope
much.
this helps other people.
Yeah, I'm sure. At the very least, it'll plant some seeds, and who knows? For me, all it was one seed. Someone said to me one day, eating animals is bad karma, and since then I've planted seeds with millions of people. So, never underestimate the power of your words, and one person can definitely make a difference.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like a hippie, but spread the love and it'll
Spread
keep
the
going.
love,
Yeah.
exactly, brother.
Thanks very much, James.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.